One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. Then let me be free.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart, steel, and a spirit unbroken. He rides onto his ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow, he takes his stand, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hear his battle cry. Metal and mayhem will never die. Witches report and paves his way. Oh, legend in the making, day by day.
Good morning, Vietnam. Hopefully everyone is enjoying their thirsty Thursday morning so far. I definitely know the hell that we are. She feels ultra good to be a G. Hopefully everyone's enjoying themselves and having a fantastic morning so far. I definitely know that we are. We've got an interesting lineup for you guys, as you guys can see here. Trump signs Epstein file release bill, as well as Dick Cheney funeral, and a cruise ship death, and more. Now, remember, we talked about the cruise ship ordeal. We also reported on Dick Cheney's death, and obviously everything that's going on with Epstein we've been following, especially within the last 3 days, pretty heavy. If not, 3 days. So anyways, the lineup that I have this morning for us is House Democrats charged with stealing $5 million of FEMA funds. Definitely an interesting story that we're going to be talking about here first. But we have something interesting that happened yesterday as well. A Dallas Walmart shooting, suspect dead, and 2 others were injured. And then, of course, as you guys know, the breaking news that happened yesterday, and I was telling you guys that this was going to happen yesterday, was Trump signs the bill to release Epstein files. Now, I actually didn't know which way he was going to go with this. He did say that he was going to go ahead and sign it, but politicians do politician shit, you know what I mean?
Oh, shit!
I wasn't going to be surprised either way necessarily, but it did get signed by Trump, so... and then we're going to move on here. Sheriff Grady Judd, I think that's how you say it. I can't remember. It's the sheriff over there for Florida. Anyways, suspect killed after beating elderly man with brick. Why are people doing this shit? And then Israel aims to normalize relations with Saudi Arabia, which I think that you guys kind of saw a little bit of the, with the crown prince that came from Saudi Arabia and visited. And it went from he investing $600 billion up to $1 trillion, which was something we reported on yesterday. Very interesting developments that are happening here. Nonetheless, Trump reveals he'll meet with New York City Mayor-elect Mamdani. Now, that's something that we also talked about. I think we discussed that when I came back from DebateCon on Tuesday. I think that's what we talked about, one of the stories. Another interesting development, Ted Cruz, illegal immigrants poured in under Biden and pillaged America. Now, these are things that I think most of us already here know. But, of course, Ted Cruz is getting some airtime. We're going to cover that. And then we have Meta wins antitrust case keeps WhatsApp and Instagram. Now, I don't even know what the antitrust case is. I haven't heard of that. So I'm actually kind of surprised that I haven't, because that's my world. Usually I'm pretty involved in that. So maybe it's being called something different. I don't know. I have no idea what's happening here, but we'll talk about that. As of 2 hours ago, though, we do have an update regarding the Mamdani meeting up with Trump and all this stuff. As of 2 hours ago, Trump signs Epstein files bill, and then we have will meet with Mamdani. So it's the way they say it, it sounds indefinite, like it will happen. And then an hour ago, as you guys know about the cruise ship death that happened, that's something that we also recently just reported on this week. Funeral set for teen found dead on cruise ship. So, of course, they have the information regarding the funeral. And, yeah. All right. So, let's go ahead and get right into it. I can't thank each and every single one of you guys enough for coming in and hitting that like button. It helps out the show immensely, and it's free to do so. You know what else is free? Is hitting that subscribe button if you guys are brand new here, man. Just letting you know. Please consider, though, becoming a member starting only at $2.99 a month. We're making sure we're not breaking the bank out there with anybody, but check it out. This is what allows us to stay on these airwaves and have these lights on. So I very much appreciate you guys signing up to become members and then staying members. Little side note here, follow my Instagram at BallValveTV, where I post everything behind the scenes of not only my life, but as well as the show, Millennial Food Time, breaking news. It's a great way to get a hold of me one-on-one. We also have a Discord server that Naomi and the other mods will go ahead and give you guys the link to go ahead and join. If you guys also are watching this on the playback, just go down to the video description down below. It will have the invite link for all of you guys. And last but not least, to all the call to actions, all super chats, super stickers, gifted membership signups are, of course, all going to be presented live and presented onto the show and shouted out. But if you guys would like to skip that YouTube 30% brutal cut that they take from your hard-earned cash, well, then we have these platforms that you guys can donate to down here and up here for the vertical side. Make sure you guys send those in, and of course, I will read them off as a super chat, just like, you know, any other super chat. I have my email up, so if anything comes through, I've got it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got to get right into it. We've got a humongous morning this morning, so we're going to get right into this.
Everyone, here to Live Now from Fox. We continue to bring you some of the day's biggest top stories and headlines. We do have some breaking news that we want to bring to you regarding a member of Congress. We are learning from South Florida tonight. U.S. Rep. Sheila Sherfullis McCormick of Florida has been indicted on charges accusing her.
Real quick, we got to give a big thank you to Motobomb. He came in hot with a raid, man. I very much appreciate that. Thank you, sir. Everyone that's coming in from the coffee crew, I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Stealing $5 million in federal disaster funds and using some of the money to aid her 2021 campaign, the Justice Department said today. The Democrat is accused of stealing a federal emergency management agency overpayments that her family healthcare company and received through a federally funded COVID-19 vaccination staffing contract, federal prosecutors said. A portion of the money was then funneled to support her campaign through candidate contributions, prosecutors allege. Using disaster relief funds for self-enrichment is a particularly selfish.
You know what's funny about that, Crystal? You actually spelled it correct.
Cynical crime, the Attorney General Pam Bondi said in a statement. No one is above the law, least of all powerful people who rob taxpayers for personal gain. We will follow through the facts in this case and deliver justice. A phone message left at McCormick's Washington office was not immediately returned. But again, we will be keeping an eye on this for you right here on Live Down from Fox. You saw the report there from the New York Post there as the Democrat.
Fucking brutal. So breaking, DOJ charges Congresswoman Sheila, I don't even know how to say that fucking last name, but McCormick, Democrat out of Florida, with stealing $5 million in FEMA funds, laundering the proceeds, and then using the money to support her 2021 congressional campaign. She faces up to 53 years in prison if convicted.
Bruh.
Don't fuck around with FEMA funds, bro.
Florida lawmaker that has been indicted. Bill Malugin, our very own Bill Malugin of Fox News, saying this on X with the breaker. DOJ charges Congresswoman Sheila Sherfullis McCormick, a Democrat from Florida, with stealing $5 million in FEMA funds, laundering the proceeds, and then using the money to support her 2021 congressional campaign. She faces up to 53 years in prison if convicted. So we will be keeping an eye on this for you. Bill Malugin then puts on X as well. According to the indictment, DOJ says Sherfullis McCormick, who's 46.
What's up, Prospect Mike?
And her brother, Edwin Sherfullis, 51, both of Miramar, worked through their family health care company on a FEMA-funded COVID-19 vaccination staffing contract back in 2020.
Damn. So it was over the COVID fucking vaccines.
In July of that year, the company received an overpayment of $5 million in FEMA funds. So that indictment just coming down by a DOJ earlier today. The Attorney General, Pam Bondi, again, is saying in a statement, no one is above the law, least of all.
Well, no kidding. It should be that way for everybody. All right. So we got Mount High in the building. Shout out to my man. Hopefully you're enjoying your morning as well. We're going to get right into the next story here. As of 14 hours ago, Dallas Walmart shooting happened, and a suspect is dead and 2 are injured. So we're going to go ahead and bring that up, and we will talk about it. Here we go.
I also want to go back out to Fox 4 in Dallas, get an update on the shooting that happened in a Walmart parking lot from earlier today. We've been
a Walmart parking lot. It's typical.
Bringing you the updates really in the last couple of hours here on Live Now. Let's go to Fox 4 Dallas for this update.
It's a pretty large crime scene at this point. Let's go to Fox 4's Alex Boyer live from the scene. Alex.
Hey guys, and we just got an update from Dallas police via email who tells us that the suspect who is dead inside of that black car there with the yellow tarp apparently died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. And what we also know is that before the...
Wait, self-inflicted? So he did that and then murked himself? Is that what I heard? Let me go and back that up just a little bit. I'm sorry.
That the suspect who is dead inside of that black car there with the yellow tarp apparently died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
So he did kill himself.
Bruh.
Pussy.
And what we also know is that before the suspect reportedly took their own life, the suspect shot 2 adult females in the parking lot of this Walmart store. I can tell
2 adult females? Why? Why would you shoot at women like that? God, I sometimes fucking hate people.
That my photographer, when he zoomed in, was able to see 2 shell casings on the ground near that vehicle. Right now, you're looking at a video from earlier today from Sky 4. Once it got on scene, you can see a large police presence, lots of uniform officers around this busy Walmart off Forest Lane. Now, we did have a chance to speak to one guy who lives nearby. He didn't want to show his face, but he said he heard the gunshots.
It was like 3 or 4 shots.
I love how they don't show this guy's face.
It was pretty loud.
You heard all the shots?
I heard all the.
Yeah, believe it or not, shooting a firearm is a little loud. Yeah.
Shots. It was like 3 or 4 shots. But it was more of people screaming, and I just seen a lot of people just going in for it because he was chasing them. So I guess people that was in the parking lot was trying to avoid from, interaction or getting shot. So, yeah, it was crazy.
And I can tell you that we did also see...
Real quick, we got 128 of you guys in here. Make sure you guys hit that like button. And if you guys are on the vertical side, make sure you double tap that screen for me. You guys don't have to like the craziness around the world, but you guys can like it for me and what I do over here, so I appreciate that.
2 guns on top of the suspect's vehicle retrieved by Dallas police. Of course, all of this now being handled by crime scene detectives who have been here on scene for about the past hour or so. So at this point, I can tell you that the crime scene is starting to come down in phases. There was some yellow crime scene tape here keeping us back, but what you may be able to see there closer in is the red crime scene tape. That indicates that is part of the internal crime scene, which is being preserved while detectives can continue their investigation. Of course, a big question, guys, tonight is what was the motive behind the shooting and who these people were.
Well, yeah, what is the fucking motive? I mean, obviously, I don't think they're going to have anything right away. But that just happened yesterday. And of course, if any developments come from that, of course, I will report on that. But we are going to move on. So as you guys know, yesterday, Trump did sign that bill to release the Epstein files. So we're going to go ahead and bring that up and talk about that for a moment here.
Welcome back in the Live Now. I'm Austin Westfall. We are getting some breaking news. We're hearing that President Trump has signed the bill that Congress passed calling for the release of the federal government to release more Epstein files. The president just putting...
Honestly, Naomi, I think that's on your side. I'm just going to be honest. Because I had no problems with that yesterday, no problems with that the day before, no problems with, I had like 100 likes on yesterday's thing. It worked just fine.
This lengthy statement out, I'm going to read it. Jeffrey Epstein, who was charged by the Trump Justice Department in 2019, not the Democrats, was a lifelong Democrat donated thousands of dollars to Democrat politicians, and was deeply associated with many well-known Democratic figures such as Bill Clinton, who traveled on his plane 26 times, Larry Summers, who just resigned from many boards, including Harvard, sleazebag political activist Reid Hoffman, Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, who asked Epstein to donate to his campaign after Epstein was charged, Democrat Congresswoman...
Why is he going on and on about this shit? I mean, holy shit.
Stacey Plaskett, and many more. Perhaps the truth about these Democrats and their associations with Jeffrey Epstein will soon be revealed, because I have just signed the bill to release the Epstein files.
Yeah, we're right here. I have just signed the bill to release the Epstein files.
As everyone knows, I asked Speaker of the House Mike Johnson and Senate Majority Leader John Thune to pass this bill in the House and Senate respectively. Because of this request, the votes were almost unanimous in favor of passage. At my direction, the Department of Justice has already turned over close to 50,000 pages of documents to Congress. Do not forget, the Biden administration did not turn over a single file or page related to Democrat Epstein, nor did they ever even speak about him. Democrats have used the Epstein issue, which affects them far more than the Republican Party, in order to try and distract from our amazing victories, including the great, big, beautiful tax cut bill, strong borders, no man...
Yeah, do you think they're actually going to give you an uncensored version of the 53,000 documents or whatever? Fuck no. You know they're going to skim a few things that they got to take off the top.
In women's sports or transgender for everyone, endorsing DEI, stopping Biden's record-setting inflation, lowering prices, biggest tax and regulation cuts in history, ending 8 wars, rebuilding our military, knocking out Iran's nuclear capability, getting trillions of dollars invested in the USA, creating the hottest country anywhere in the world, and even delivering a huge defeat to the Democrats on the recent shutdown disaster. For years, our great nation has had to endure Russia, Ukraine, impeachment hoax number 1, impeachment hoax number 2, and many other
which he's not wrong on that.
Democrat-created witch hunts and scams, all of which have been so terrible and divisive for our country and have been done to confuse, deflect, and distract from the great job that Republicans and the Trump administration are doing. This latest hoax, the president says, will backfire on the Democrats, just as all of the rest have. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Make America great again. We are just getting this in, by the way. We just got in this tweet from the president. We do know that Attorney General Pam Bondi spoke on this earlier today. By the way, I'll just mention this. We don't have any clear indication of when we will see the thousands of files that the president is alluding to.
I heard it was like 53,000 files or 53,000 pages. You guys let me know if you've heard any other different number.
If we get any clarity on the timeline of when the public will see these files, we'll let you know as soon as we know. Here's what Bondi said earlier today about the imminent release of these documents.
We will continue to follow the law with maximum transparency while protecting victims.
When you say follow the law, Attorney General, do you mean that you will provide all the files by 30 days?
We will follow the law. The law passed both chambers
So she will just specifically follow the law.
last evening. It has not yet been signed, but we will continue to follow the law, again, while protecting victims, but also providing maximum transparency.
At this point, just set it all out, bro. Just let it all out. At this point, fuck it.
Basically, where does this go from here? A live look at the White House, just past 8:30 in the nation's capital. Now the bill will require the Justice Department to release all files and communications related to Epstein, as well as any other information about the investigation into his death in a federal prison in 2019. This has to happen within 30 days. We don't know if this is going to come on the shorter end of that or if it'll come on the longer end of that, but we do know it will have to be within 30 days, according to the bill. This will allow for redactions about Epstein's victims for ongoing federal investigations, but the DOJ cannot withhold information due to embarrassment, reputational harm, or political sensitivity. So we'll be keeping an eye out.
Yeah, we know that if no one can, G-check them at the gate from taking shit off the top, then it's all hearsay.
To see exactly when and in what form these files come, of course, a lot of people have been focusing on just how many redactions will be made, something that is unclear to this point. But again, I'll reiterate, after this bill was passed, the DOJ cannot withhold, according to the text, any information due to embarrassment, reputational harm, or political sensitivity. So there shouldn't be any redactions relating to anything of that nature. It will allow for the redactions of victims for ongoing federal investigations, according to the Associated Press.
Interesting. All right. So we're going to move on into Sheriff Grady, the sheriff over there in Florida. Suspect killed after beating an elderly man with a brick. The fuck is going on with people, bro? Let's go ahead and bring this up and we'll talk about it.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being with us this evening so that we can report to you, as we always do, on a significant event. We report as soon as we can. I always give this disclaimer. The information that we give you tonight is very early in the investigation and certainly is subject to modification as the investigation goes on.
Who are you talking to, Gino?
But if we waited until we gave you absolutely 100% totally accurate information, I would be talking to you in about 6 months whenever the medical examiner's report came back. But I want to introduce someone to you. This is Cheney Gavin. He's 41. He spent over half of his life in the Florida prison system. And you might ask, my goodness, what did he do? He sexually battered a child, and he spent 16 years.
Shit.
And then he was released on probation. And then he failed to register, and he went back to prison for another 7 years, for a total of 23 years.
Man, he's done some stints.
In addition to that, he has just been released in the last little while from prison. And he was living in this community at what the neighborhood referred to as the Chomo house, the child molester house. And he was living in a child molester house because we continue to...
Hey, who's the fucking liberal, by the way? You guys are fucking morons. I love you guys, though, over there on the vertical side. You guys are a bunch of retards. It's awesome. Yeah, I'm as conservative as it gets, actually. So I don't know who the fuck you're talking to, little fucking moron.
Have checks on them. The last time we checked on this house was October the 31st, Halloween. So let me take you to about 3:07 this afternoon. We received a 911 call that there was a man out.
I am only America only. That's all I give a fuck about. Just so it's clear, by the way. Bunch of dummies.
Here with a brick. And he was beating an elderly man in the head. So he was beating this elderly man in the head, and another lady, a witness, tried to shove our suspect off of our victim. When she was successful in doing that, he chased our second victim into a shed where he beat her up and stole her cell phone because...
Dude, this is a brutal story that he's going down with this guy. This guy is obviously fucking trouble on a different level for sure. We got Slim up in the building. Shout out to my man. Hopefully you're enjoying your thirsty Thursday morning.
Well, she said she was calling 911. He said over and over, I am not going back to prison. They will have to kill me. Information was relayed that it was an armed person acting erratic who was in the process of beating an elderly man.
What's up, Agrillapis? Hopefully you're enjoying your morning as well. Great to see you in the chat. It's the first time back since DebateCon I've seen you in the chat, so welcome back in.
And our deputies arrived. Our Deputy Diaz was the first to arrive by himself, and he was followed up by Deputy Sheriff Soko and Mathis. Deputy Diaz told our suspect several times, throw down the brick, throw down the brick, throw down the brick. He refused. Not only did he refuse, he started toward the deputies. They attempted to tase him. 2 of them did. One of our witnesses said he just pulled the taser out and continued to charge at the deputies. At that time...
Yeah, it probably didn't make total connection. If it doesn't hit, both prongs don't hit your actual skin and it penetrate your skin, you're not going to get shocked.
2 of our deputies, Deputy Mathis and Deputy Diaz, fired a total of 6 shots. They immediately began to provide life-saving measures after they were able to get, obviously, the brick from him, subject to him being shot. He was transferred subsequently to Lakeland Regional Health, where he succumbed to his injuries. Now, interestingly, 2 of our witnesses were incredible. One of them is currently on probation and said, look, I've been in trouble, but those deputies acted professional. They didn't have a choice. He was coming after the deputies with the same brick that we now know he beat a man with.
Wow. So he's done this shit before with the same fucking brick. What the fuck, dude?
Stupid. Bruh. That victim is still at Lakeland Regional Health. In addition to that...
What's up, Papa D? Good morning to you. Great to see you.
We had another witness. He looked our detectives in the eye and said, I was raised to resist law enforcement. I've always resisted law enforcement. But I can tell you those guys didn't have a choice. He was coming after them to attack them with this brick. So the investigation goes on. We have an officer-involved task force. The lead agency will not be the sheriff's office. We will work with the task force. We have members on the task force. The information we develop through our investigation will be sent to Ryan Haas, our state attorney. He and his team will review it and render a final judgment. But it's abundantly clear to us tonight, based on the information that we have, that he had no intentions of being arrested. He had
well, no shit.
honestly attacked one person. He had robbed another lady with violence. He was erratic and out of control, and they said had been sleeping very little this week.
I'm with you, Hamdi. Like, what is his now? Like, what's the end of this message? You know, what is it that you're going to now do?
It's too early in the investigation. We don't know whether he was on drugs or not, but certainly his conduct was out of control. So with that, I'll be glad to answer any questions you may ask. However, it's important to point out, I've pretty much told you what we know at this point in the investigation.
Do you know why he started beating the man with a rock?
Interestingly enough, we asked that very question. Why was he beating the man with a rock? Was there an argument? Was there a fight in advance? And
TVT, it's because we're streaming on a vertical side too. So we have a humongous amount of viewership that comes in that are just randoms. And then we'll never see them again. But there's a few people that come in and actually like the content, and then they subscribe, and then that's how we grow. Like right now, we have 125 of you guys in here right now. Make sure you guys hit that like button, by the way, and double tap that screen if you guys are on the vertical side. I very much appreciate that. So that's why, TVT.
he said no. They were apparently sitting on the porch of this home.
What's up, Alfred?
When all of a sudden he became angry, and he picked up this actually large piece of stone, and that is about the actual size. It's the size of your hands, and charged him, knocked him down, and then was on top of him, beating him with a stone, when our second victim tried to shove him off. That's when he jumped up and chased her into the shed, where she was in the process of dialing 911. He attacked her, beat her around, took her phone, and left the shed. So that's the only information we have at this point.
Sheriff, was the other person the first victim, the man who's getting hit with the brick?
This will be the last question I take on this, because we gotta move on.
At the same home, or is he somewhere else in the community?
I don't know right now where he lives, if he was at the same home or not, but he obviously lived in the community. I'm not sure exactly where he lived. Here's what's important to understand:
I appreciate
for reasons
that, Papa.
we don't know early investigation, he had not been sleeping much, had been acting erratic, and all of a sudden attacked what was described on 911 as an elderly white male with a brick. Our deputies came here to save his life, to protect him, to stand in the gap between good and evil. And they were forced to shoot him when the taser did no good. I believe...
Well, yeah, if it doesn't make connection, then it obviously doesn't do any good. It's not going to work.
Based upon the early information, this was clearly a suicide by cop.
Yeah.
He'd been in prison over half of his life for sexual...
He said like 26 years collective or 23 years collective or whatever. That's some stints.
Battering a child. And he said over and over, I am not going back to prison.
Yeah, well, why was he let out in the fucking first place? I mean, like, let's actually look at some of the problem here. You know, we have corrupt judges, we have corrupt DA. I mean, all of it. It's not just the cop side, it's the fucking actual, the judicial side. I mean, what's happening here? We got a lot of fucked up shit. Anyways, we're going to move on here. Israel aims to normalize relations with Saudi Arabia. As you guys saw yesterday, the Saudi prince, the prince or whatever, came over to the United States, had a big sit down with Trump, and the Saudi prince originally said that he was going to invest in the United States by $600 billion. And then by the end of the conversation, it was agreed upon for $1 trillion. Insane. So obviously, this makes sense with this title, why this probably makes a little bit of sense here. We're connecting dots.
Well, it's been too long since we checked in on our friend, Professor Alon Burstein. He's the host of the Israel-Palestine Report.
Now, he does a great job of this guy over here, Alan or whatever his name is. He does a fantastic job at this shit. I mean, like next level shit. All he does is study Israel and Gaza and the Middle East. And now I'm somebody that's very involved in understanding the Middle East as a whole. And of course, you guys know here on this channel, I have talked about Israel a lot, and I also explained the breakdown of the maps over there. So anyways, this guy does a really good job.
On YouTube. I think I've seen you on TikTok recently, too. We can get into that at the end of the interview. Lots to discuss, Alon. It's been an incredibly busy couple of weeks. You and I were talking offline specifically about the...
Joseph, I got you, bro. That's a good call, by the way. And, we just got to get the money part over.
All right, just get the money part done.
Give me money. Money me. Money now. Me a money needing a lot now.
Shit.
UN Security Council. We're going to be getting to that in a moment. By the way, a live look at the region as we continue to track the latest on Gaza. Let's talk about Israeli-Saudi normalization to start off, Alon. We learned last week that if the U.S. wants to sell F-35 fighter jets to Saudi Arabia, Israel reportedly wanted that sale to be conditioned on Israel and Saudi Arabia normalizing relations. We have since learned this week that the U.S. will, in fact, sell those jets to the Saudis. So, Alon, has there been any significant discussion about them normalizing their relations? Has Israel reacted directly to the F-35 deal?
It's good to see you, Austin. Like most of the things that are...
Why is he a little low today? We're cranked up.
Part of the relationship right now.
Bring it up on my board.
Israel, Trump is going forward with whatever he thinks should happen in the Middle East. Israel, at best, is saying, yes, that's...
Shit, real quick, we got Brother TVT coming in, by the way, becoming a YouTube member. Let's fucking go. Very much appreciate you making it rain in the chat, my man. Solid work.
Great. At worst, is simply not responding. When the UN Security Council passed a resolution pertaining to Gaza, which we'll talk about a little later, and this was something that Israel did not want passed that way. Israel said, that sounds great. Yes, it's wonderful. Anything Trump says goes. When it came to the sale of F-35s and 300 advanced tanks and declaring Saudi Arabia a major non-NATO ally, all these things, Israel's staying silent. It doesn't want to say yes. It really doesn't like.
That is super interesting why it originally came up as this as a new member. And then over here it shows, get your membership, boys, for 7 months. Yeah, I thought you were, a member for, and I was like, okay, well, maybe he's on a different account. But yes, I very much appreciate that. Let's go. Get your membership in, boys, and ladies too.
That it also cannot say no to Trump, and Trump knows this. And it's one of the reasons that he's sort of letting himself, so to speak, go forward with these different plans in the Middle East, and always assuming that Israel's going to just say yes, because in fact, Israel is always just saying yes. Israel, in order for Netanyahu to sell this to his coalition and say it's okay, we don't need to get upset at this. For years, Israel has relied on having air superiority in the Middle East, and we saw the critical importance of that with the war with Iran. We've seen that with Yemen. We've seen that with all kinds of regional actors. Right now, Saudi Arabia is cooperating with Israel, but Israel's afraid. What happens if the kingdom falls in 10 years and all of a sudden they have these weaponries? So with that, Israel for years has wanted to ensure the United States does not sell such advanced weaponry to the Middle East. Now it's in a position where Netanyahu just wanted to...
Yeah, well, Biden just fucking abandoned our shit over there in the Middle East, which was wild work.
Get something from Saudi Arabia to say, well, don't worry because we're going to have normalized relations. It hasn't gotten that. It got some statements that Saudi Arabia would like to join the Abraham Accords. So Saudi Arabia is openly talking about that, but saying still it conditions this on a Palestinian state along the 1967 borders, something that certainly Netanyahu's government, but Israel more broadly, has made clear it's not going to agree to. So theoretically, Israel, is making a lot of...
Shit, Steve Posey coming in for the 12 months, which is 1 fucking year. Let's go, dude. I like that. Saying life happens, Mike, make it better. Yes, sir. I appreciate that. I try to make things better. There's a lot of shit obviously going on in the world, and a lot of this can become monotonous. We try to do a good job of being able to at least make it somewhat entertaining, especially with my, my takes and shit. So.
Statements that they would like
I appreciate
to see
that,
this
Steve
come
Posey.
alongside some sort of normalization agreement, but is not being directly critical of what's happening. I will say, if this was the Biden administration or a Harris administration, we'd likely see Israel screaming and furious. Under the Trump administration, Israel is simply either saying yes to anything he says or not saying anything.
So what would be the significance of Israel and the Saudis normalizing relations? What would be the most meaningful changes that both countries would see?
If this were to go down that path, and again, it's very, very difficult to see a scenario where that happens without some sort of concrete steps towards a two-state solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. But if, hypothetically, we were to see that happening, we would likely see two very big geopolitical changes regionally and internationally. Firstly, like when Israel signed a peace treaty with Egypt in 1979, this brought about
right. And how peaceful has that been?
Massive retaliations against Egypt from the Arab world, but also started to open a door. There were other elements within the Arab world. It took 10 years. It took a little longer. They started to say, if Egypt can do it, maybe we can. Saudi Arabia is...
Be safe out there, brother TVT. Always appreciate it. Thanks for the membership, by the way, the 7 months.
A leading country. It wants to be the most leading country, and some would argue that it is the most leading country in the Islamic world, certainly in the Sunni Islamic world. If they were to go down that path, we would likely see a big split in the Islamic world. Many of the more moderate countries might be inclined to also go down that path, as if Saudi Arabia can do it, we can do it. We would equally, at the same time, see other regimes, such as Afghanistan under the Taliban, such as different regimes, or at least some state actors, certainly in Nigeria, some of them in Pakistan, some of them in Uzbekistan, that would see this as such a big betrayal that likely would lead to also inflammatory reactions within the Islam.
Well, I mean, all of this can... There's a lot of fucking moving parts over there in the Middle East, and it's fascinating to watch. But nonetheless, we got to get moving on. We have so many stories ahead of us, and we're already 36 minutes in. We try to cram everything into 1 hour, so it's difficult to do that sometimes. But something that we reported on this channel earlier this week regards to that there was a possibility of a meeting between Mamdani and Trump, and it looks like that Trump has revealed that he'll meet with New York City Mayor-elect Mamdani. So let's go ahead and bring this up. We'll go ahead and talk about it a little bit. And here we go.
And we are getting some breaking news, and we're hearing that President Trump is going to be meeting with the mayor-elect of New York City. President Trump sending this out moments ago, saying, communist mayor of New York.
Shit. Real quick, we got BD coming in with the raid. Let's go, man. Black Dragon, I very much appreciate you. And thank you again for allowing me to crash your show this morning, you know, and take over. That's typical, all right? Hold on. Feels ultra good to be a G.
Denied.
All right, let's get right back into this. BD, thank you so much, kind sir.
City.
Real quick, we got over 100 of you guys in here right now. Make sure you guys hit that like button. On the vertical side, make sure you guys double tap the screen, man. I very much appreciate you guys.
Kwame Mamdani has asked for a meeting. We have agreed that this meeting will take place at the Oval Office on Friday, November 21st. Further details to follow. So at the end of this week, we will see a Zohran Mamdani President Trump meeting, and it's going to be taking place at the White House. We are hearing that this would be the first encounter between Trump and Mamdani since the Democratic Socialists' victory in New York's mayoral race earlier this month. Mamdani is a state assemblyman from Queens. He's known for his progressive platform, and he is set to take office on the 1st of January. Typically, that's how they do these things in New York. It's not uncommon for them to do these things. In some cases, we've seen New York City mayors sworn in right around midnight, right when the ball is dropping in Times Square. Throughout Mamdani's campaign, he's proposed measures such as a free bus service, city-owned grocery stores, and rent freezes. Some of his more ambitious ideas have...
Yeah, there's a lot of promises that he gave that were extremely unrealistic. You look at it and go, there's no fucking way you can get away with that.
Rattled Wall Street. It's drawn some of his fiercest critics, some of these ideas, and we will look ahead to Friday when President Trump and New York City Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani are expected to meet in just under 2 days' time.
Wow, so it is going to be happening here, not today. Wait, actually, it would be tomorrow because this came out 13 hours ago. Interesting. So it's going to be tomorrow. All right. So that meeting will be happening, and of course, I will be following that. Now, let's go ahead and talk about this a little bit. Ted Cruz, of course, Ted Cruz does what he does best, is he loves to get some screen time. And I don't know why he's bringing this up, but he's Ted Cruz on illegal immigrants poured in under Biden and pillaged America. These are things that we already know. I'm not really sure why they're trying to reiterate this, but we're going to go ahead and find out if there's anything in here of any substance. If not, we'll just skip through it because we have some interesting developments happening this morning as well. Meta wins antitrust case, keeps WhatsApp and Instagram, as well as Trump signs the Epstein files bill, which you guys already know about. We're going to be, I guess they have a development there. And then we have the funeral that is set for the teen found dead on that cruise ship that unfortunately we reported on earlier this week. And it was a brutal case. So on a Carnival cruise line, definitely brutal. Anyways, back to this.
About ICE operations and immigration enforcement that is going on throughout the country. Let's listen in.
Appreciate that.
Passionate remarks.
Damn.
With which I.
Why is this so fucking loud? This one only. This is the only one that's this loud. That's fucking ridiculous. That sucked. All right, back here.
Fully associate myself. 1 year ago this month, the American people delivered a political earthquake, casting off the disaster of the Biden-Harris Democrat administration. There were many aspects in which their policies were harmful, but none more so than 4 years of open borders, more than 12 million people coming illegally into this country, 3 million gotaways. Gotaways, we know, are statistically much more likely to be criminals, to be murderers, to be rapists, to be child molesters, to be gang members, to be terrorists. It was not accidental, it was deliberate. And every single day of the Biden presidency, Americans were victimized. Americans were murdered. Women were raped. Children were brutalized by violent, criminal, illegal aliens that our federal government deliberately released into our communities. Ms. Carter-Walters, you pointed out, the city of Chicago has been savaged.
Okay, well, what's the point of this Senate meeting, though, or a Senate hearing on ICE and immigration enforcement? What? Okay, cool. What are you going to do about? Like, you're just bitching to bitch, or what's the actual, and what are you trying to get done here? That's what I want to try to figure out.
By these policies, and I have to say, this hearing is a powerful illustration of the Democrats. They are AWOL. Every single chair on the Democrat side of the aisle is vacant, and they are representing beautifully what Democrat policy was for 4 years, protecting our communities. My home state of Texas saw a greater invasion than any state in the country. Now,
what's up, Just Making It TV? Great to see you in the chat. Hopefully you're enjoying your morning so far. Make sure you guys hit that like button, by the way. Always appreciate your guys' engagement there.
a year ago, in January, President Trump came into office. And the result was stunning. This invasion ended not in a year, not in 6 months, but overnight. Illegal border crossings dropped more than 99%. Instantaneously. All three of us were at the State of the Union address where President Trump pointed out, he said a year ago, Joe Biden said he could not secure the border without new legislation from Congress. Now we've seen illegal border crossings drop 99%. As Trump said, it turns out we didn't need new legislation. We just needed a new president. We needed a president who would follow the damn law and not release violent criminals into our communities. Sheriff Boyd, it's good to see you. You're the sheriff of Goliad County in South Texas. You lead Operation Lone Star.
Okay, yeah, cool. This is fantastic. But what are you trying to get done here? That's really what I'm trying to figure out.
Tell us the difference between right now with an administration that follows the law and the preceding 4 years with an administration that released violent criminals in your county and every community across the country.
It's night and day, Senator. The quality of life for the people of South Texas has drastically improved, and you're absolutely...
I can only imagine that to be the truth.
Absolutely right. The numbers show it. Turns out you didn't need new laws. All you needed to do was have the right people in charge and free up Border Patrol to do what it is that they love to do, and that's protect America. And under the leadership of Border Patrol Chief Mike Banks, they have gone out and done exactly that, and it has made a world of difference in our lives. We went from arresting smugglers on a regular basis. In my small rural county, we arrested from 2021 to 2024, we arrested 98 people for smuggling and over 120 people for engaging in organized criminal activity directly tied to the Mexican cartels.
Okay, I totally understand this. This is cool, but let's go ahead and get the end here.
to open borders. We want the invasion. Put the next poster up. We want the invasion to come back.
What? Oh, the sanctuary cities?
It is difficult to think of a policy that is more harmful to our communities than releasing violent criminals into our communities. And I, for one, am glad we have an administration that will now enforce the law and keep our communities safe. Thank you to each of the witnesses. Thank you for the work you're doing. I hope and pray we will never go back to another administration that for partisan political purposes says, we're going to release gang members and murderers and rapists into your community, and we're going to look the other way as Americans are murdered and sexually assaulted. I hope that never again that happens. Thank you.
All right. Well, I guess it was just a hearing on the aspect of, I mean, it really was reiteration. All right. We're going to go into this morning. Meta wins an antitrust case, keeps WhatsApp and Instagram. Now, I'm not too sure what the antitrust case even is. This is the first time I'm hearing of it this morning. So we're going to find out together. Let's go ahead and bring this up.
All right, welcome back. I'm Austin Westfall. You're watching live now. Let's talk about Meta. Facebook parent company Meta Platforms defeated a U.S. attempt to unwind its acquisitions of Instagram and WhatsApp this week. This comes after a federal judge ruled that the company does not hold a social media monopoly. According to Reuters, the ruling is giving big tech its first decisive win against the antitrust crackdown that originally started in President Trump's first term. It's also a major setback for the U.S. Federal Trade Commission, which is pursuing a separate antitrust case against Amazon. Matt Shears is standing by. He's the CEO of the Computer and Communications Industry and Association.
What's up, North Dream? Shout out to Sweden, man.
Let's break this down for people. The government basically sought to force Meta to restructure or sell Instagram and WhatsApp in order to restore competition. They said that the company spent billions of dollars on the acquisitions in order to eliminate competitors. But the judge is saying that the companies, other companies like TikTok and YouTube, are actually evidence that there is a competitive market. What implications does this decision have for how market power is going to be defined in the digital age, Matt?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think what this decision tells us is as...
Shit.
Why are you gay? You are gay.
Just saying.
Many lawyers expected, when you ask a question like, does a company have a monopoly? You look at who that company is meaningfully competing with at that point in time. And you do not do what the Biden era FTC invested a lot of energy in over the past few years here, which was contriving a very artificial market that just was essentially gerrymandered around Meta. And that didn't hold water when it got before the court. And that's actually what many observers and legal scholars had predicted.
So, by the way, this is how the Wall Street Journal is phrasing this. The judge rejecting the FTC's claims that Meta Platforms, which is Facebook's parent company, is holding an illegal monopoly on social media. Matt, what potential risks or challenges does this ruling pose for regulators that are seeking to restrict or reverse past acquisitions by tech giants? And how might future merger review strategies need to adapt in light of this?
So my thinking is this doesn't pose so much as a risk as it does a course correction. It says that these artificially contrived market definitions, where you start with the outcome you want and then you design a market that gets you there, that's not going to work. What enforcers need...
I really don't understand what he just said there, but okay.
...to do is look at the data in the marketplace, study who companies meaningfully compete with. And if you're seeing evidence of competition in the marketplace, as we were seeing here, then this is not a place to bring a case. You know, there was tons of evidence in the case that Meta was very aggressively reshaping its products in real time to keep up with aggressive competition from TikTok, competition from YouTube, to say nothing of all the other social media services out there, which
I appreciate that, Flames. That's what we do, man. We only have one narrative here. It's just what the fact of the equation is. That's why you see me get frustrated with people that are just like giving opinions or something like that, or what. Like, I don't care about none of that. I only care about why this is happening and what is happening and why. That's it. I want to know the boiled down version, you know, and you know how it goes with the mainstream media. They paint their own narrative, and so it takes people like us to come together and to like decipher like what is bullshit, what is real, and you know, that's the beauty behind independent journalism.
DC was very implausibly saying, nope, none of these guys compete with Meta's Instagram or Meta's Facebook.
Will Meta's victory affect competition, privacy practices? Will it impact power dynamics within social media platforms?
I think what we're going to see is regulators investing more energy going forward and asking questions about, do we have evidence of consumer harm. And here there was evidence that Meta was rapidly changing and improving on its products to meet with the competitors sniping at their heel. And I think that points to a bigger question, which is regulators should be asking, is all the energy that we're going to invest in this case actually going to serve consumers? If you talk to consumers today, they're worried about high price of groceries, energy, gasoline. They're not worried about the price of a free to the consumer digital service. And so there's some questions about prioritization that need to be asked here too. And I think it's an appropriate time to ask.
Okay, so this is a lot of mumbo jumbo for me. I'm going to be quite honest. This shit is way too geeky for me and I'm into this shit, but man, when it comes to something like this, when you got a guy that refuses to speak like me and you, it's hard to listen to these fucking assholes. Anyways, we're going to move on. Trump signs Epstein files bill and will meet with Mamdani. Now, this was already reiterated. I'm not sure. I see what's happening here. There was an actual tweet that came out. So I guess that's why they're doing that from Trump or someone. So let's go ahead and bring this up and we'll go ahead and see what is happening here. It's coming from Fox News, I guess. Oh, I see Donald Trump did go on Truth Social and say something. He said, Communist Mayor of New York City, Zoran Kawami Mamdani, has asked for a meeting. We have agreed that this meeting will take place at the Oval Office on Friday, November 21st. Further details to follow. Interesting. All right. So there we go. That's the update. That's why they came out with this. All right. So now we're going to talk about the funeral that is set for the teen that was found on dead under a bed, I guess, in a Carnival cruise ship. So let's go ahead and talk about this real quick. We reported on this earlier this week and a little bit about the case, but now here's, I guess, them with an update on this.
And I do want to head to another big story that we have been following here on Live Now from Fox. And this is...
I'm going to find someone for us to raid right now, by the way.
Hearing from the mother of a Florida teen found dead on a cruise ship as the investigation does continue here into the death of Anna Kepner. I want to bring in Amanda Ruiz over at our Fox 35 Orlando team. She has been following all of the latest details and joins us live. Amanda, thank you so much for being here. A story that so many people are talking about right now.
Good morning. Yes, this mother is absolutely devastated. It's not hard to imagine that.
Of
She
course.
says the only thing that's really holding her together at this moment is remembering the memories that she had with her daughter, Anna. Now, it's been about 2 weeks since she died aboard that cruise ship back.
Wow. So, okay. So we reported on it, like, I think Monday or Tuesday. I can't really remember. No, I mean Tuesday or Wednesday. So it could have been yesterday morning or Tuesday because I wasn't live Monday. But nonetheless, this happened just a couple of weeks ago. So that's given us the timeline here of, I thought this may have been, maybe a few months ago or something like that. And it's finally getting into the mainstream, but they only hid it for, I guess, about a week and a half.
And November 7th, her mother, Heather Kepner, spoke to Fox 35 by phone. She currently lives in Oklahoma, and we will note that she has not
Thank you for that, Brother Provo, as always.
seen Anna regularly in recent years. Heather did tell us that this is still hitting her very hard. She says she will remember her daughter as joyful and compassionate, and she also says that she was a teenager who was always happy and loved cheering and horseback riding. She shared childhood photos of Anna, making sure to point out her daughter's smile in every single one of them. And now she holds these photos and her memories extra close to her heart.
She was a really good child. I mean, she never really complained about much. She never
This is her mom.
cried that much as a baby. And as a teenager, she was the same. She was just always happy. She didn't like it if people were upset. She kind of takes after me on that one. But yeah, she was always trying to make everybody smile. She was always happy.
Damn.
Now,
It
in
sucks.
recent developments, a new court document.
What a fucking way to go. Imagine, getting killed upon and dying on a Carnival cruise line. God, that's fucking miserable. I can't even imagine.
Documents have from the civil divorce case between Anna's stepmother and her former husband allege the 16-year-old son of the stepmother could be a suspect. These documents are part of a custody dispute. The filings also reveal that it's believed that an attorney has been hired to represent the teen. Now the FBI is investigating Anna's case, and they have not released any details as of right now. Now there is a celebration of life that's being held at the church right behind me. It's going to be at 5 p.m. here in Titusville, but it is not.
No, she was found underneath, I don't know if it was her bed or someone else's bed on the ship, but her body was found underneath a bed. And I believe that she was murdered. She was murdered. So terrible.
Open to the public.
I don't know how she died. Like, I don't know exactly how she died in the aspect of the murder aspect, but I'm sure that we're all going to find that out together as we continue to follow this story. But that is the end of that right there, ladies and gentlemen. I can't thank each and every single one of you guys enough. Obviously, I can't do this fucking shit without you guys and your guys' support and backing, engagement, hitting that like button, you know what I mean? All of these things collectively compound over the course of time, and it allows us to do exactly what we do, man. So I'm very honored to be able to do that for you guys Monday through Friday. And then, of course, Saturday morning, we have our members-only live streams. It's always a great time. So listen, we're going to be raiding our buddy Rob Norm. Make sure you guys stick around for that. We're going to send you guys on over there. Make sure you do me a favor and stick around for that raid and let them know we're coming through with the Mike Ball raid. We always have a good time with that. So anyways, with that being said, we'll be back tomorrow morning for more of the world's madness. But until then, God bless everyone, and we'll see you guys very soon. Stay safe.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges, a host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart, steel, and a spirit unbroken, he rides on two wheels, ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the